Alrighty. So those music just now were. Oh shit! Fuck! I closed the tab. No. Hold on. Too Much Techno and Electric Image by Michael Talbot. So today we're gonna be not playing a game, but rather I'm gonna be taking a look at a program. Not just any program, a creative suite from the year 1999. So yeah, it's an old creative suite. Finally I'm doing an art stream. Here we're gonna make some nice art today. Called Pokemon Project Studio. So the moment I found out this existed, I had to get a copy, and I got a copy. I got 2 copies, in fact, because it came in like 2 different versions. There's obviously a red version and a blue version. This was made by The Learning Company, which is an educational, or I don't think it's around anymore, at least not in the same way that it was, but it was a educational, children's educational software company that made games such as Reader Rabbit. Also, hello Haunted Castle Pro, Yoshi, help Wartortle. Unfortunately, out of all of the Pokemon that they included, they forgot Wartortle. I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. Wartortle's in here. That'd be fucked up though. if out of all 151 Pokemons they forgot Wartortle, because remember, there's only 151, which is like a whole lot. It's like the most amount you could possibly have. Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of this shit. So I already have the virtual box up. Let me get rid of Spinduck. Let me get rid of the stream welcome. Okay, so I haven't installed blue version yet, but I figured it's worth, while it's installing. I've already installed the red version. While the blue version is installing, I'll talk about more about this, and I have some photos of the box that we can look at. Let me go ahead and, so this should be displaying properly and everything. Computer, so this is my Windows machine, Windows XP, my beloved. Okay, so the icon's red, but it's blue. It's supposed to be. Windows Restrictions Out2 Edition. There probably won't be any destruction. There'll be some like weird shit. I have images that I can use. I got some JPEGs that I can use. We can put in the program and make some cool greetings cards and stuff like that, because that's mainly what this program does. So here's the install. Gotta make him all. Which doesn't really make sense because, like, you can just drag and drop PNGs of the Pokemon. You're not making the Pokemon. So we're gonna install. So while this is installing, it's gonna take, I don't know, like a few minutes. I have, where is it? I have some photos of that I took of the copies of this. I specifically got a used copy that looked like this because I wanted to enjoy the the idea that somebody actually used this. This is a pretty used. This is a complete copy that I have, and it's got a beaten up box and stuff. You can actually see all of the Pokemons. Let's try and zoom in. This is like so small. So this came in 2 versions, red version and blue version, and this is the back of each of the boxes. It only has around approximately half of the Pokemon vector images of the Pokemon in each version. For some reason, red version got most of the legendaries. Blue version, you're stuck with Moltres, sorry. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Make and what does it say? Pokemize? Yogi Bear Pikachu. Is this one of those ones where they get the names wrong? No, so this is, I mean, I don't think so. This is an officially licensed product. I'll show you the front of the box when I navigate to the correct file. Why is this? Let me see the preview mode. There we go, okay. Okay. Is the correct one? Oops, that's the wrong window. Let me lock that. So there's the privacy agreement, in case you're wondering what's happening in the background. Yes, I would not ever copy this software. Also, Oak is here. So let me, God. The one thing OBS kind of sucks at is, reset transform. Oh no. OBS is not good at, like, displaying pictures. There we go. So here's a blue version. This is the one I'm installing. Yes, yes. Okay. Now it's actually for real installing. So you can actually see it comes with 30 days. Sorry, not 30 days. 250 free hours of AOL. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty sick. Go for just, yeah, no problem. Yeah, you're not missing anything. So, here's the inside of one of the boxes. This is the inside of the red version box. You can see all of the text talking about all the cool shit you can make. Put your favorite Pokemon everywhere with over 600 different graphics, 81 of the 151 characters, and 250 different Pokemon projects. You can spend hours building your creativity and imagination. Oh yay. Installation is complete. Okay. Airplanes, banners, birthday kits. You can read that. You can make all kinds of create your own Pokemon cards. Be the only kid on the block to have your own personalized cards. So this is like fucking business card we'll see, but these are like business card templates that have been modified for Pokemon, for maximum Pokemon. I wonder as to the value of these cards nowadays. You know who is watching this too, by the way? Oh shit. Is Jay watching this? I'm sure Jay will enjoy this. We will see Moltres. I think Moltres is actually the only legendary in blue version, but we'll check out both blue and red version because I don't think both of them can be active at the same time. Okay, alright, register. Oh, thank you for purchasing product. So, I'm not even gonna click that link. I know this isn't gonna work. Like, that... This is old, it's not gonna go anywhere. So I'm gonna register later. Okay, here's the start menu. I'm assuming this doesn't work. I haven't pressed it. I don't want to press it. I don't care about that. Help, I think, brings up the manual. And then we can install and uninstall and options or whatever. Let's just launch. So here we are. This is the blue version screen. We have something that looks a little bit like a Pokédex. And we have a weirdly non-standard looking Pikachu, even for the time is weirdly non-standard. And we also have Eevee and Nidorino. So, so this is the thing. Okay, customize a ready-made project. So this mainly, so you can start from scratch, like you can just, like, you can do this. This is like the pages and shit. Each of the pages. We'll start looking at the templates in a moment, but I'll show you some of the graphics. So you can add, I believe all of these are vectors, and it has multiple different renders of some of the Pokemon. Some of them only have one graphic. Like there's only one graphic of Charmander, for example, but Charmeleon gets 2. Charizard gets 3, ooh. 2 for Squirtle, 1 for Wartortle, and it's this one that's like used a million times. Butterfree gets 2, so does Pidgey, so does Pidgeotto and Pidgey. Hold on. Rattata, Pikachu. Raichu only gets 1. Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff. Meowth. This Meowth one looks fucked up. It's actually fine. It's just the lines are so thin in this particular vector that it doesn't display properly at this resolution. I remember it was basically the Wild West back then as far as Pokemon proportions went. Yeah, the Shellmons are definitely getting more. You can tell how popular Pokemons are in this program in this time period by how many vectors they get. I'm also kind of surprised that these guys are here because I forget when did I guess I could just Google it whenever fucking what's his name, Spoon Magician guy, I can't remember his name right now. The guy who sued Pokemon for spoons because because they made Psychic Spoon Pokemon. Uri Geller, there we go. Yeah, I'm surprised these guys are here because I want to say it was the 90s when he sued them. Machop, Machoke, and Machamp, Bellsprout, Weeping Bill, Victory Bill. Oh, Victory Bill gets 2. Surprising. So is Graveler getting 2, wow. Seal and Dugong are those Pokemon that, like, I feel like out of all the Gen 1 mons, I kind of forget these guys exist the most. This is actually a pretty cool Ghastly one. Cubone, Roac, Coughing, Wheezing, Chansey, Kangaskhan. Oh my god! Dude, this is like the old version of Jinx. Oh my god. Okay. Wonder, because they had changed her official image to have the purple variant. I wonder if this displays differently when I actually add the image. We'll take a look at a few of these in like high resolution in quotation marks. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can take a look at these files. I tried to export, so this program does not let you export in anything other than a proprietary like file. So if you save, like if you try to export, it'll only save in a proprietary file that cannot be opened by any program besides this one, and presumably whatever the file format which was being licensed for use by the learning company, which sucks, but I'm sure someone ambitious enough can figure out a way around that. Also, Eevee side view. For some reason, 2 side view shots of Eevee. Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. 2 Moltres, that's cool. We have Mew, and now we have like trainer PNGs. I say PNGs, these are vectors. PNG, I don't think PNG like got big. Like, I tried to see if I could use PNGs with this program, and PNGs like existed at the time of XP, but I think they might have existed in 1999, but like no program was using them. Like it wasn't really supported. It was only until like 2004 when it started becoming widespread use, I want to say. I'm wondering if these are vectors or if these are the same as those PCT images. Win95 program. I think it... hold on, I have the boxes right here. I believe it is created for Win95. Hold on. Does it really not say? Hold on. Maybe it's in the instruction booklet in the jewel case. I use Clefairy. I think Clefairy is super cute and I want to see her. Oh shit. Accidentally ripped the part of the manual in the jewel case. That's fine though. I think this was intended for Windows 95. Or actually, it's probably most likely 98, because this program came out in 99. So it probably has support for both. Obviously, XP is a little bit after that, but it still runs it just fine. If you need... If you need instructions on how to check out the enclosed instruction book, check out the enclosed instruction book. Let's see. I think Clefairy. Was Clefairy in here? I think it might be Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff that were in this. We'll look at red version too, because that has the other half of the Pokemons. Yeah, it's these pink mons that are here. So we can just go back down to, oh, too far. Okay, so we have Ash and Pikachu. We have the badges. Super cool. Wow. Have this fucking this fucking render of Brock. This is like one of the worst renders of any of the main characters. Because he's just standing there. Have a bunch of designs of Jesse and James. We have a bunch of cool action patterns or whatever. Misty. We have Pokeballs. We have Pokédex. We have Pokemon logo, and then we also have Professor Oak. Swoosh and 3 Spears, my favorite. And Wavy Star. So, also, I didn't even comment on it, but Mew is here. Mew isn't like was. So obviously the Pokemon movie, but I don't think Mew is counted because it says Mew brings it up to 152, right? But it says 151 on the box. So, huh. Figure a lot of these. Yeah, I'm assuming a lot of these are generic. They probably had a so this is officially licensed by Nintendo. I don't think I focused in on it on the box, but there is a Nintendo seal of approval on this computer program. And I'm assuming a lot of these are like official materials that are used, because I've seen like this, like these renders of the characters are like used everywhere, absolutely everywhere, on like products in like the early days of Pokemon. Okay, enough of that. Actually, I guess we can take a look at these. So we can actually zoom in on these. And you can tell they're vectors because the line quality changes the closer you get. We can spin them. So this is also a little cumbersome to use, as it turns out UI standards for like programs is not the same as modern day. A lot of these old promotional renders are just from the Sette, but colored. The anime Sette reference sheets, in other words. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, what was I gonna do? So we're not gonna save this. Obviously we can add, or I'd love to get the fonts too. There's a lot of really, really cool fonts here. Like, look at these. Look at all these cool and epic fonts. That's crazy. Okay, where is it? Open. Here we go. Or no, not open. New. Here we go. Then now we're back to the menu here. So I guess we can look at some of the templates. During the PokeLeak, when we got a bunch of anime reference sheets, I noticed black and white versions of a lot of commonly used poses and renders. Yeah, that makes sense. I've definitely seen all of those, all like 3 billion of them. And there's definitely a lot of poses there that are like were like then finished into like official commonly used renders. Okay, so here's some greetings cards. These are actually a little bit different than the ones on Red version. So this is kind of interesting. Take a look at, yeah. Ever thinks you want to come to my party? So in Red version, which we'll see. Oh shit, Moltres Writer. I bet you could grab the images and drag and drop and paste into a new program, much like Printmaster. I guess it depends. It depends if these. So these are most certainly renders. Fuck. These are most certainly vectors. Actually, let's go to actual size. I think the question would be is if they're formatted for compatibility or whatever. Yeah, Moltres Writer is here. So you don't have to like look at all of these close up. You can kind of just see what these look like. Have some Butterfree here. Man, I wish zooming wasn't so fucking cumbersome. A bunch of Butterfrees, and you can actually see the other the other pages. If they're WMFs, you could probably copy paste into WordPad or whatever, but they could be anything. This is Win95 because Printmaster you had to Control C, Control V into Photoshop or whatever. Yeah, it depends on several different factors. Thinking of you. I want to look at this one. Party. It's just this image, and there's Charmander. Look, here he is. Come on, 200. Johnny's house, 1234 Main Street, Anytown. You can find Charmander at his house. And of course, here's the obligatory. By the way, did you know this is Pokemon? Exeggutor, Slumber Party. So a lot of the graphic design here is like hits a really specific point in time. Very 90s, obviously, but a lot of the like additional media, like Western media of Pokemon, like the books and stuff, also have this like lots of patterns, lots of like text effects, lots of like bright colors. It's early 90s polygons. Of course, I was excited to see Moltres. Yeah, we'll definitely be seeing more Moltres. What is this? Is this the motto? It is. It's like a friendship card, I guess. Yeah, I was actually thinking that when I was like exploring this program initially, I was imagining like what the fuck, like they totally dropped the ball to not like make a a Pokemon 2000 version of this, like an expansion with like Gen 2 mons. That would have been amazing. And I think they probably could have made similar programs to this, like all the way up to at least Hoenn. Like I feel like people didn't have the same amount of access. What is this? You are here. I am here. Miss you. Just the Pikachu can just walk over to Eevee, like it's not even that far away. Oh my god, look at all these things the fancy new SGI can do. You better use all of them. Yeah, Lugia and Ho-Oh. I'd love to get some like officially licensed Xatu and Natu vectors. That would have been a nice. But yeah, I feel like they could have made oh, these are cool. So we have like event signs. Can have a cookout. Charizard. Imagine using this today. If I ever like do a garage sale, because there's a in the red version at least, there's a garage sale sign. I'm sure there's one here too. I'm definitely using this, and then people are gonna show up and they're gonna be so disappointed when it's not entirely Pokemon themed and it's just a bunch of junk. Barbecue. June 3rd. 12 o'clock. Hot dogs, hamburgers, potato salad, corn on the cob, chicken, ribs, salad, fruit, and more. Remember the Pokeroms plastic discs? I never had the Pokeroms, but I did learn about the Pokeroms while I was looking into the additional media, I guess. I was looking into like old Pokemon books and old Pokemon software is how I found out that Project Studio was even a thing. And then I also found out that Pokeroms existed, and it was like educational slash Pokemon trivia software. Okay, so we looked at those. Oh, it's so annoying. I wish I didn't have to. Okay. That's too far. Actual size. Yeah. Okay, it's just instructions. I wanted to see what it said. Oh no, I know the width of my window changed. Okay. Wish I could. I wonder if there's an option to lock the display size in VirtualBox. There probably is. I don't really use VirtualBox enough to know all this. Actually, I was gonna play some music because it's kind of quiet. Pokemon Red and Blue OST. Complete soundtrack. Here we go. There we go. That's better. If you played Summer Love from Lisa. Lisa music with this would be strangely unfitting. Yeah, the fact that you have to drag all of the shit, like I can't scroll. I'm trying so hard to scroll this with my mouse wheel, and it's just not possible. You have to click on shit because it wasn't standardized. Things weren't standardized yet. Do not feed the dog, even though this is that's not a dog. They couldn't use a Growlithe? Yeah, knock first, do not disturb. I guess you get assaulted by the Zubats. Gotta get to the birthday party. I guess because Growlithe isn't in this. It's in the red version, I think, Growlithe and Arcanine. They just had to compromise. What's the next most dog-like Pokemon? I don't know, the lizard with the skull head. That's good enough. We have Gift Wrap with Misty on it and a placemat. Yard Sale with Misty. Yeah, they could have used Flare. Why didn't they use Eevee, Flareon, and Jolteon, and like all of the Eevees at the time are in this particular set. That's so weird that they chose. I guess maybe the Bone. Also Lemonade with Flareon. What does that say? 25 cents per glass? Not in this economy. That'd be $2.50 in this economy. Actually, probably more. Maybe like $3 or $4. It's crazy. Yeah. I couldn't remember. I was like, wait a minute. I couldn't remember all of the Eevees at once. Car wash. What does this say? $5 for cars, 10 for vans. Today only. Would you trust Pikachu to wash your car? Actually, hold on. I want all, not just the birthday stuff. Sale. Oh, it's in a Pokédex. Birthday party. And it's got all the starters on there. Yeah, I don't know why they chose... There's some questionable decisions here. I feel like... Well, I mean, I say questionable. I feel like most of the people, like, creating... What does that say? Let's eat. Most of the people creating these probably didn't really know much about Pokemon. I'm assuming, and just kind of like they knew enough to like know what, you know, these are the starters, this is that, this is that. But they probably didn't know enough to like know all of the context and like the powers. I can imagine they were just throwing literally anything that came to their minds at the wall for these. No, I barely trust Vaporeon to wash my car after what she's been doing. Let's see. Follow the arrow for fun. Garage sale. Also, oh, these are the height charts. Alright, I can't wait to look at these, but first let's take a look at this. This is what I'm gonna use if I ever do a garage sale. Toys, skateboard, books, posters, games, and more. Nowadays, nobody's selling games unless it's like John Madden football at garage sales. Because everybody knows the value of games nowadays. Like, you can't even find Pokemon cards at garage sales anymore. Because those things are like worth... They're like higher in value than gold. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Okay, let's take a look at these. So these are really, really interesting. So note that these are images. This is like a whole image. You can't like really move these guys around. And they are measured by inches. Which is crazy. Why would they do that? Finding games at garage sale is awesome. I mean, I've been to maybe like, gee, at least 5 garage sales this year. Because I'm like right next to a whole bunch of neighborhoods. And just walking around, you'll find them in the summer. And, yeah, I couldn't find anything like really worth worth buying because I feel like too many people are like knowledgeable now because of the fucking internet. And so they have, I don't know, Mario Kart Double Dash, and instead of putting it in the pile of like sports games from various years, they realized that Mario Kart Double Dash is like selling for $200 on eBay. So they just do that instead. Which, I mean, sure, get that bag, but, what about... what about people who don't want to pay $200 for a game that just happens to be old and Mario at the same time? And it's gonna be overpriced just from the fact that he didn't scribble something on with pencil. Okay, let's go to the next one. Series here. Size. So yeah, 67 inches. Charizard is short. Oh, you mentioned Nern. I have some images that we can use when we eventually make our own awesome fucking birthday poster or whatever the hell. And I've got some familiar faces. So out of all of the things in this collection, I would like to somehow find a way to export these. Just because I think it's really interesting. We don't even find games at flea malls, or vintage shops. Some retro game stores exist, but expensive. Yeah, it seems like most games that you're gonna find in resale, like CD, DVD resale shops are like low value. Because I remember there was one that before it closed down back when I lived in Texas that had some games, and most of them were just all like shitty shitty games. But occasionally they'd have like Pokemon or like some actually good Wii games, and most of them would be in a glass case. With like $30 instead of $5. Which was still better prices than nowadays. Nowadays you can't even, you get lucky if you... Okay, this one... Yeah, everybody is on the consumer grind set nowadays. Raticate looks so incredibly small compared to to Pidgeot. I feel like Raticate. So this is 20. Oh god, hold on. 28 inches 2 feet. Really? Hold on. Raticate. I'm gonna find out right now what the average. Yeah. Okay. 2 feet and 4 inches for Raticate is the average height, which is about 28 inches. But I feel like in the anime, most Raticates are like way bigger than that. I don't know. There was a Raticate in the Spiritomb episode in the Sinnoh anime that was like not small. I guess the same goes for Charizard, because Charizard in the anime is like decently big versus the average Charizard is like pathetically small. Okay, back to... God, I wish there was a fucking easier way to do this. Time to scroll all the way down after going through 3 menus. Jesus Christ, look at how big these guys are. Arbok and Ekans are titans. No way! No way! That's insane! Bro. So obviously I think what's going on here they're huge. So I think what's going on here is that these Ekans and Arbok are measured by length, but here they interpret it as height. So they're huge. And I do know that like snake Pokemon in the anime have like a weird thing with their heights. Like for example, Seviper, hold on. So Seviper is measured as 8 feet and 10 inches. I don't think it's necessarily supposed to be the height, but the anime, it definitely is the height. Jesse's Seviper is fucking huge. Like, oh god, hold on, how tall is... hold on. Zekrom? Or actually no, Groudon. Trying to think of like a legendary Pokemon that like you'd think would be big but isn't actually that big. No, Groudon's pretty big. What was it? Okay, Zekrom is 9 feet tall. So that would make Seviper in the anime at least like 1 foot shorter than Zekrom. That's crazy. It's stretched out straight from the tip of the mouth to the tip of the tail. And that's the same thing in Japanese. Xerneas is 9'10". So yeah, Xerneas is a little bit taller than Zekrom. But yeah, here Ekans and Arbok are displayed as fucking kaiju. Okay, let's go to the next one. Nidoran, Nidorina, Nidoqueen. I think it's an interesting choice to not have all of the Nidorans on the same page, but I understand that they're following the order of the Pokemans. I know it's Pokemon, it's just amusing to mispronounce it every single time. It's a choice for Clefable, hold on. Why did they choose, like, Clefable flying for this? Yeah, I've never seen this either. Clefable is either, like, looking directly upwards, or it's, like, flying directly at the camera. Xerneas is about 11 feet tall if you include the antlers. That makes sense. I always thought Xerneas seemed like it was pretty tall, but then also you have to remember that technically the top of its head is a lot lower than the actual tops of its antlers. Guess I could... Man, and it doesn't even let you... You have to, like, click every single time. That's also crazy. Golbat is huge. How small Oddish is. He's so small. Look at Diglett. Hold on. Let's go to super resolution. See how many pixels Diglett is. It's so small. It's crazy. Golbat 5 feet from the front, from the toes to the top of the wing. So wait, did they do it right? Or did they do it wrong and were they just measuring its head? I wasn't really paying attention. This fucking soundtrack has a bunch of Pokemon attack noises playing. Okay, wait, hold on. Went too far. So we saw that... this. Happy Doug Trio. So Golduck also looks huge, but it's the way they decided to place, like, this image of Golduck. Size markers are incomprehensible. After I finish looking at this, we'll make the card, and then I'll look at some more. After we make our awesome card, I'll look at the rest of the weird things. Well, actually, we might start with the photo frames, just because I think that could be funny. Use some custom images in the photo frames. Okay. Arcanine. There's a story history of terrible Pokemon music recordings. For a lot of these, it looks like they just scaled the image with the bottom at 0 point, and then the top of the image is where the height is. Which is a bit yeah, like, look, if they were actually doing this right, wouldn't Primeape be... like, this is a terrible... First of all, if you're making a height chart, this is a terrible image of Primeape to use. Because it's in a perspective shot. Like, you want stuff like what Poliwag is doing here. Even Poliwhirl is better, if not a little questionable, because it's standing on the tip of its toes according to this height chart. But, like, that's... what Growlithe and Poliwag are doing here are ideal for making actual, like, decently accurate height chart. Oh my god, I hate this. Okay, this is the next one. Actual size. And even then they fuck it up because it's like, you could just have Machoke's lower foot here standing on this line, but they chose instead to have it be the pixel. But they're capable of allowing the Pokemon's feet to overlap the line, because look, that's what Kadabra is doing here. Fortunately, it's a thing that requires critical thought. Yeah, it seems the designers were maybe lacking in that. Hold on. Did I... okay, this is the one I want. I thought I was clicking on the wrong fucking thing. We're almost through. Just 10 fucking million more to go. Okay, we'll try to do this fast. Yeah, that's definitely Machoke. Actually, I wonder, is this under information? It is. Okay, that makes the scroll a little bit quicker. This. is Tentacruel is like the only fucking... This might be... Tentacruel does not have a whole lot of like official artwork. Which I mean, with those many, like that many tentacles, I guess makes it kind of annoying to draw, so I guess that makes sense, but still. On top of that, Tentacruel's tentacles, like, obviously in model sheets it's consistent, but like in the actual sprites themselves it's kind of inconsistent. And the official artworks doesn't exactly one-to-one match how many tentacles the modern day, like, 3D model of Tentacruel has. Oh god, this. Magnemite is also very, very small. So small. There's a staggering amount of terrible size charts. Yeah, for every Pokemon! 1.6 meters, so 5 feet and 3 inches bottom of the tentacle to top of head. Guess that makes sense. Okay. This... Farfetch'd. What is this shit? Dude. It makes Dugong look so small that they're measuring like... God, this is horrible. Because they're including... This is like... Dugong is just kind of like floating there, but they... God... So many choices were made here, and none of them were all that great. The actual size. Shoulder is also really, really small. I can't actually scroll this one, I don't have to like just bump it. It's annoying because the UI is the same, but this scroll wheel actually functions, or I mean it doesn't function from a scroll wheel perspective, but I can click and drag it smoothly. Actually, that's the wrong one there. Which one? Okay. We're over halfway. Onix. Meanwhile, Onix... Jeez, how big is Onix normally? Hold on. Onix... 28 feet. But it doesn't really look that big here. Can the height chart even accommodate its size, actually? Like, I... 1, 2... How many inches? I wasn't even paying attention to how many inches each of these. I'm assuming each of these is a meter? Or maybe it's just a foot. I don't know. But then these lines are spaced out unevenly! What the hell? Okay, continuing on. Hypno. Hypno's another Pokemon that just gets this fucking official image of it just gets reused over and over and over and over and over again. This is fine. Nothing that egregious here. 346 inches. I would go back and check, but I don't want to have to go back through this menu to see what it was. Well, this is another just like, why did they fucking do that? Imagine if one of these default posters said, "Have you ever wanted movies free?" I think even at the time, Nintendo would never suggest movies and free in the same sentence. Or Game Freak. I mean, this was licensed by Nintendo, and Nintendo has a huge stake in Game Freak even at the time. This one. C is very small. 16 inches, that's 2 feet, right? No? No, I'm stupid, it's not 2 feet. I can't do math, never mind, I'm not even gonna try. 12 inches is a foot, so it's like a foot and something inches. I think Rhydon and Kangaskhan are cute. Yeah, Rhydon is honestly, like, Rhydon is one of those Pokemon that's, like, so classic I almost forget it exists sometimes. Not because it's, like, boring or anything, but it's like the Pokemon from Gen 1. Aside from Pikachu, it's like the Pokemon. Many, like, early Pokemon designs look a whole lot like Rhydon. Yeah, it's also the first one, as a result. To why so many early Pokemon designs and images include Rhydon-like creatures. This is maybe the most okay looking lineup I've seen this entire time. Everybody's kind of standing on the line. Like, this is maybe the most okay looking high chart lineup so far. Oh my god, it is actually her old image. That's crazy. Didn't they make... When did they make Jinx purple? That's literally like her original artwork. Didn't they fucking fix this? I guess they... Whoever fucking, like, made this program, I guess, wasn't given the fixed... When did they make Jinx purple? Was there ever a date in which, like, it was confirmed that they fixed? There's like no existing statement from when they fixed this Pokemon's design. Which, to be fair, it only looks like a extremely offensive character as happenstance, because it's actually supposed to be a reference to a fashion movement like thing in Japan. I don't know the name of it, but it involved a lot of bleached hair and loud clothing colors and like loud lipstick. Was it meant to look like extremely offensive racial stereotype? More random Pokemon noises in the soundtrack. Gyarados, Tauros. Gen 3 was when they changed it, but even Gen 2 was starting to be changed. The Jinx stuff was in the early aughts. So then no wonder. I could have sworn maybe they had changed her earlier, but I mean, I was not. I was born in 1999. I was born before this software came out, and I didn't have any interest in Pokemon until I was like about 7. So I wasn't paying attention to early Pokemon media very much. I remember seeing it at like my friend's house and thinking that it was stupid, in fact. Because I was always like back when I didn't know what Pokemon really was, and before me and my brother got a Game Boy Advanced Black Edition and some games from a relative, one of them being Pokemon Red version. Like, the Pokemon anime confused me because I didn't understand why the Pokemon just said their names. I thought that was incredibly stupid. Eevee is very small. And Vapor— what the fuck is this? Why did they measure Vaporeon like that? Oh my god. We're almost there. And then we'll make awesome photo edit. I'm not really sure how much one could do better with some of these without making new artwork. Isn't that what Pikachu happened? Yeah, I could have swore— so I have a false memory. I know it's a false memory because a pink Pikachu does not exist. Not even in the island of pink Pokemon. So, I have a false memory of watching an episode of the Pokemon anime at a friend's house or a relative's house. And it was in like this weird sort of like fancy room. I think there was like some like girl who I think was like a noble girl, and she had a Pokemon, or what I thought I recognized at the time was a Pokemon. Having known virtually nothing about Pokemon at the time, and I remember it as being like a weird Pikachu that was pink. It had like a bow or some kind of collar on, and it was Pikachu shaped, and it was pink. I could probably even find the image, but I'm not going to do that right now. On Pokemon Red, in a poker game, both of us wagered a Game Boy in 1999. Wow, 14. That's crazy to win something like that in a poker game. I would far prefer that to money. Yeah, I'd like to win a video game. It's the scary music. Okay, we're finally at the legendary birds and the legendaries in general. Here we go. Aerodactyl is one of those Pokemon that I also kind of forget about, but I also really like. It's just it's a really cool mon, I think. Articuno. This is a choice to measure it like this as well. This is horrible. This is a cry to measure it like that. Oh my god, that's horrific. Yeah! I'm sure we'll see much more horrible decisions on the next page. So keep in mind, that's like 1, 2, 3, about 3 feet there, if you're only counting the bird part of this bird, as measured by this height chart. Assuming these lines mean feet. Now let's take a look at these other ones. So we have... Wow! Moltres won the lottery! Looky there! Moltres actually looks decently sized, not in comparison to Dratini, but Moltres is like massive compared to its other birds in the trio. Moltres is 7. Yeah, you're if this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it'd be like the top of the swing if these lines denote feet. So basically standing, your Moltres would be right here. Yeah, Moltres was treated the less poorly out of all of these. Okay, finally, this is the last page, we did it. Now we can go, after this we're gonna go to the photo frames and we're gonna take a look at the images that I have that will hopefully work. Some of them I took off of my computer screen. Like I just took a photo of my computer screen because no images of them were like in JPEG format that I could find on Google, and trying to convert them into JPEG format I guess isn't good enough. And they don't display in this program. What if we added Inspector Gadget? It depends on how fast I can find a JPEG image of Inspector Gadget, which might be pretty fast if I find like an image of the TV show. So Dragonair is huge. Then it becomes much smaller. I wonder how many kids like had this program, printed these out, and then like took them as like the Bible. Like how many was like, no, Dragonair is like massive, dude. I'm never gonna evolve my Dragonair because it's so much bigger than Dragonair. Okay, this might work, but I have to open it a different, because like the link is absolutely fucking broken. Copy. Okay. I'm gonna try saving it to the shared folder, and we'll see if it ends up working. Mew is very small. And Mewtwo also is like rather disproportionate because of the way they're choosing to measure it. Okay. Stationery, stickers, photo frames, here we go. So these actually contain real photos of like random kids who are now probably like 30, which is like crazy. Like, who is this? Why is he here? He's gone now. So let's import. God damn, I hope this works. I have to go to network places. Ah, come on. Click. There we go. Shared folder. So a bunch of saved PNGs and bitmaps from Print Perfect Pro. A great program with a library of very strange and interesting vector clip art. These aren't gonna work properly because they're like exported PNGs. Pics for Project Studio. Here we go. You can tell which ones I took off of the computer screen. So we have some nice images here. We have Alex, Yick. We have Wega, that's sideways for some reason. We also have Terry from Lisa, who's sideways for some reason. Nern. I found a 2016 development image of the Ascension 2000 on the Axe Studios Twitter. And this, what's funny about this one is that it's a screenshot that either Andrew or Brian took off of their computer, and then I took a screenshot of the screenshot with my phone. So there's like 2 layers of like quality happening here. Also, Inspector Gadget does work. I will add him. I also have images of my cat finally that are both sideways. Oh sweet, this one works. I have Gordon Freeman, I have Mega 2 Cannon, and I have Yoshi. It's all scrunched up, yeah. So we can add... Let's go to actual size here. Actually, let's... there's no easy fucking way to do this. I hate this, I hate this. Because if we do this, it zooms in too much. So we're going to... send backwards. Or we're gonna try to send backwards, yeah. Eventually, Jesus, hold on. What are these options? Undo, copy, paste. Some question, like the UI is pretty okay, but there's some questionable like this. When I see this, I don't think copy. I think that's 2 stars. When I see this, I don't think paste. I think tape. But like paste is largely, you know, represented in these older programs as a tape thing, now that I think about it. So cut makes sense though. It's still, to this day, cut is often displayed as visually as a scissors. All I remember when I see that character is the, yeah, that's the in fact this is the very the very image of Inspector Gadget used by Mike Matei in his legendary review of Minecraft. Layer by layer, we have to send this fucking thing backwards. It's crazy. Why didn't just eventually we'll get there. There we go. Look. Who's that Pokemon? It's Inspector Gadget. Also, if you're a Pokemon master, why would your photo be displayed in the Pokédex? Because you're not a Pokemon, so that doesn't really make sense. I don't know, it's been... I need to... I've watched the first... I should say rewatched the first 2 episodes of the Pokemon Indigo League. I'm gonna continue watching the rest of the Indigo League. But, like, does it ever display a trainer? does the Dex ever display a trainer? Yeah, I'll put a Moltres. Let's see, here we go. Gonna catch some Pokemon, Inspector Gadget? I'm better than you are, so I should catch the Pokemon. I have a microchip implanted into my brain that allows me to, I forget what exactly it is, make 200,000 computations per second. Here we go. This Moltres. There's no great place to put this Moltres, actually. That's Inspector Gadget's Moltres. I am categorically a Pokemon master due to the fact that I am far smarter and far more clever than any actual Pokemon master. Also, if you're wondering if we can get rid of Ash and Pikachu and just put Moltres there, we can't. They're attached to this image of the Pokedex. Fucking hell. Can't even click on Moltres anymore. Where the hell is my music? Did it end? Oh, it was just like quiet for like a whole minute. That's weird. Great upload. Yeah, I'd love to delete them, but I can't because they're attached to this. See, when I move this, they go with it. Let's actually try a different template. What is it? Photo Fun? Where's that? There. So you only have 4 photo frames. You have this one with the Pokédex. You have one with Charmander and graphic design. You have a Team Rocket one, and whatever the hell this is with the 3 starters. Let's do this. Port. Fucking have to go. Why doesn't I mean, I love old computer shit, but man. Let's get some Alex Yick here. Man, that looks really good. Cause of the weird fucking pattern on it, because I took this like off of my computer screen. Send 2 back. Here we go. Oh, well, and I have to bring forward a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that looks really good. Yes, this picture is the bomb. Ah, there's a bomb. And we can also edit this text if we wanted. Alex Yick. There we go. Oh. What the fuck? Why is your name... What? Oh, I guess maybe that was being used as like some kind of backing thing, I don't know. They fucked up, I guess. I'm not reading that out loud. Also, is Charmander? Yeah, Charmander's attached to this entire fucking thing. He's the greatest Pokemon master. Actually, how old? So Alex is like 25 in 1999. Pokemon came out in like what, 1995? Uh, 1996. So... Never mind, this is math again. I'm not gonna say a number and have it be wrong. He was like... probably not playing Pokemon. Alex Yick. I mean, I bet he is in his like dream fantasy reality in his DSV, but he probably wasn't actually playing it like in a nostalgic way, I should say. He'd talk about it like he was like there on the front lines trading Pokemon cards on the playground. But he's like out of high school. This one. Let's see. Oh no! Shit. I meant to press this. Okay, who should be here? Fucking click, dude! Oh my god. There we go. $96. The layout of these boggles the mind, yeah. 7 and JP. 97 was the anime. Green was early. 96 needs, yeah. Gordon for men. This is such a huge image. Hold on. German Freeman, send to the back. Alright, wise guy, let's see you pet Charizard. Man, well actually, I think that image was WebP format, the, like, the Biden Charizard meme. Man, there's no easy way to do this. Also, is this whole thing... Yeah, this entire thing is just like one unit. Okay, let's find the other one. This one. This is like one of the weirdest ones. So this is like... some kind of like screenshot from the anime with like a bunch of attack shit happening. And then this entire thing here is like... just all attached. And Pikachu, Meowth, Mew, and Eevee are so small compared to the other starters here. Ah, shit. Oh, wait. Can I not select? Let me select. There we go. No, actual size. No, actually, go to 50. Port. This seems appropriate. Air. Yeah, this is like the right scale and everything, I think. It's gonna be perfect. Like how it's all mid-Evo starters. Yeah, very weird choice. Somebody else used to put a boombox in front of the TV to record Team Rocket. Say their motto. I did not. But I think if I was around at the time, I maybe would have. I did have like a CD player, but I didn't have cassette tapes or anything. I experienced the era of the new technology that was CD taking the world by storm. Okay, store. This is amazing. Wait, I can change this too? Wow. M. The M is so stretched. Movies free in the making. Gotta save this. So, you want me to save this, right? Well, the thing is, if I try to save it, it is only as a PhotoFun file type, which means the only other option would be to print it if I wanted to save this in some way. But I don't have a printer set up. It says print error. It won't even like show me the fucking thing that it's printing because I don't have a printer set up. So I have to. The only other option is to use snipping tool and snip it. So let's do that actually. Also, I think I'm out of music. Okay. I snipped it. Nice. Print screen. Hold on, said you were born in 1999, 1985 here. So, been in high school when you were born. Wow. I mean, I guess I didn't know like your birthday or anything. But still, it's like a long. It's like weird when I think of like 1999. It's like that's not that long ago, but like it actually is. Actually, it's fucking crazy. 26 years ago. And image printer. Print screen is also prints to JPEG. Yeah, I'll have to get set up virtual printer. Yeah. That's actually a really good thank you for telling me about that. That's exactly what I want because there's some like interesting like I don't know, I like the graphic design here and I was thinking like if all of this is saved with like proprietary file types that can't really be accessed on anything but this software, then it's a shame that it's like you can't really use it besides printing it. So yeah, thank you for that, Moltres Writer. I'll check that out. Okay, let's go to a blank page, I guess. I remember 1999. I remember seeing New Year's, staying up and watching it. I remember a nice day. Some memories of 1999. I have no memories of 1999 because, like, I think you have to be like what 2 or 3. I think it's like 4 is the average age that like you start to actually fucking remember shit. Like you start actually like recording informations, with like significant detail. Like I remember watching probably like 2003. Or 2004, watching SpongeBob and like a bunch of shows on like Cartoon Network, like playing with toys and shit, playing with toy dinosaurs. Because we lived in Texas at the time. Two memories from 1996 when I was 1. Well, actually, now that you mention that, I probably have memories from even earlier. Though most of them are like weirdly dreamlike and didn't seem real. Like I was probably 2 when I was at my grandma's house, and she died when I was, I think, 2 or 3. Like my grandma on my dad's side. And I remember like running around and like falling falling in like a fire ant nest and like crying and like I remember there was a pool too. And I remember like the garden and like the fridge that had a bunch of fridge magnets. Like that's some deep cut shit that like it doesn't like it like I remember it, but it's like it's so long ago that I don't really. It's more of like you remember like the vibe and like vague shapes and colors, but you can't remember anything in like HD. Let's see, can I just get, here's some backgrounds. I remember going to bed on the last day of 1999, worried up I would wake up due to no power due to Y2K. But you don't know how times works before that. There was a thing I wrote about a while back that I kind of sort of remember. I remember a dream that I had when I was a 3. There was a cloud in the house and other children in my playpen. I remember a disturbing dream in which, well, it in my memory, it's like it's real in my memory. Also, here's some nice screenshots of the anime, some nice backgrounds. That's a really nice. We're gonna use that background. But I remember like I was probably like 3. Like it was nap time. I was like napping, and it was like daylight in my room, but I was napping. And I remember, so I had a cat at the time named Poodles. He was a black cat. And my door was shut, and there was like a black lump. You've seen the image that I drew of this peacock. There was like a black lump on the, like, hugging the wall, not like literally hugging the wall, but like next to the wall, adjacent from me, past a bunk bed that like my parents had recently installed in my room. And I remember like going to sleep and like seeing that and thinking like, is that the cat? Why is he like right against the wall? Why is he like sleeping against the wall? And I remember yelling for my parents, and I guess they couldn't hear me. And so I just like pulled the covers over my head and I tried to like go to sleep, but I like kept seeing it through the covers because they were like really thin sheets. So what ended up happening is like I turned over, and then I remember something jumping at me, and it was like fucking. It's crazy. Like I don't think it was real. I think that's like a dream. I don't think that happened because he wouldn't be like, my cat would never have been there. They would never have shut him in my room. He never would have been sleeping against the wall in a position that wasn't cozy for a cat. Like it just looked like a black fluffy blob, basically. You know how cats are when they turn into like a circle. It's what it was like, but he wouldn't be there. And obviously, like the weird, like I was like afraid. It's crazy one. I remember being in a crib at the foot of the bed at night, hearing a furnace turning on, being afraid, crawling into the bed above, and then being rolled over by my parents. One of those is a beta background. Really? Monster Hunter Brood. These backgrounds are like taken from Cell backgrounds. These are amazing. Talking about. Oh no, it wasn't a bird. Cat. Unless you're talking to Peacock, actually. Yeah, these backgrounds are really, really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go to this mountain background that looks. Like, look at this. Damn, this is fucking gorgeous. Like, yeah, it's low resolution, but like, look at that. This is what I wanted the games to look like. I wanted so badly for the games to look like this, and I would spend like, so like, I don't really remember doing this much when I was playing Pokemon Red version because I was a stupid kid and I wasn't reading things, so I was just like kind of playing it. But that got me interested in like playing the Pokemon games that were modern at the time, because that was like Pokemon Red version was old when I was playing it, when me and my brother was playing it. And like I remember playing Pokemon Platinum version. That was what I consider my first Pokemon game that I actually like played, and not just like went places and battled my Pokemon until they were hideously overleveled in like the first 3 routes of the game. But I remember spending so much time like playing Platinum version and like Pokemon Black and White, even like imagining what it must be like to like actually be there. Beta background as an unused Pokemon anime background. The Blobcat and BFB. Oh! You have an unfinished Monster Hunter bird that I was told was a dream bird. Yes, yeah, I forget what year I dreamed that. But yeah, the Monster Hunter bird. I remember playing a Monster Hunter game, and in the game, fuck, I accidentally changed this fucking screen resolution again. It's so easy to accidentally grab the window instead of the scroll bar. So let's zoom out here to actual size. I remember hearing about you talking about imagining like, yeah, in my height of like realizing Pokemon was like based in Epic, actually, after spending years, and by years I mean probably like 2 years of like seeing it on at like my friends' houses or whatever, and thinking it was fucking stupid. At the height of like me accepting Arceus, I remember waking up some mornings and just like imagining, like, man, what if like I woke up and instead of hearing bird calls, I heard like Pokemon birds. And I remember like really just like wishing that was real, wishing I could just fucking wake up and hear like the fucking anime calls. It's been so cool. The beta image is a scene inside Pokemon okay, let's actually hold on. Let's get an image of Moltres in here. We need a bird in this image. Shit, that's too far. Moltres. Wow. Can I make Moltres face the other way? I can tent the object. Behind object. Oh, I can do like effects. Whoa. Whoa, that's cool. Can I flip it? Here we go. Range. You cannot. It's too, technology did not exist yet to flip this image the other way. You can't do it. The most you can do is make it go upside down. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is it really that hard to like reverse vectors? Really? Like, yeah, you can like rotate it on an axis. You can lock it. Hold on. I had a Moltres in every Pokemon game I ever played. Some were legit. Some I AR'd it in. Kaiju starter. I love Wartortle so much. Got a fancy rotation bar. But nope, can't flip it. Yeah. Man, that's a shame. That's crazy, because you'd think there'd be like a little thing, whatever. Let's go to let's get, so we can actually remove this. I'm sure we can also just, you know, click the other one. Seen water. I wonder, I'm sure somebody who's like a Pokemon super whiz can look at these backgrounds and know exactly where, like, I think this might be, I don't know for sure. Maybe this is from episode 1. Because I watched the first 2 episodes of the series again recently. Hold on, now Wartortle's really small. I need to fix this. No, it's too big. There we go. Yeah. Look, guys, it's Ho-Oh. I'm sure somebody like can look at these backgrounds though and can like tell what episode they're from. Like Tree Stump, would this be in the like episode 3? A giant trace. Yeah, let's go to the beta image first. Is that the stadium? Hold on. Oh, here we go. It's not Furo. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna remove this. Let me remove this mole trace, and I'll get another mole trace. Oh, hold on. Get this one. This one actually works with the perspective here. Really big mole trace. It was seen Gym 2. Okay. Okay, we're on the right one. Okay. Okay, what other Pokemons can we put here? Can look at this. So this is the Meowth that looks fucked up. If we zoom in, he does actually have line art. And also there's some like color bleed happening. The smaller you make him, the worse he looks. Wartortle. This isn't really a great scene for scale. It's not a, you can, I imagine like if I had this program as a kid, I mean, I spent so, like, speaking of programs that aren't really meant to be like entertainment software, but entertain the hell out of me. I mean, this is definitely software that's meant to be entertaining and fun. Yeah. Like like me and my brother, spent a lot of time on Word, like Office, Microsoft Office Word. We would spend a lot of time just like looking at the clip art and making like cool collages of like clip art dragons and shit. It was crazy. Okay, let's find another background here. Maybe one with slightly better perspective. Really isn't a whole lot of like great. So I guess you could put a bunch of flying Pokemons here. Pokemen. Let's also get Charizard. This Charizard is like really detailed. Oh my god, I just realized. How many lines, how many like detailed like wrinkles this Charizard has. There was a GS version. Gold Silver is my favorite gym badge set. I get the feeling some of the vectorization here is automated. I remember in school seeing people on the computers doing a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, like it's like really, I don't know, there was something just really fun. Like I remember taking a brochure template in Microsoft Word, and I remember like spending like a lot of time making like a fake tech company brochure, and it like didn't make any sense either. It was like our keyboards are the most advanced keyboards ever. Here at Excel Industries, we blend, like, it was just loaded with key concepts, like the kind of shit that LinkedIn looks for, like when you submit a job application. It was just like a bunch of buzzwords, and I like loaded up the text boxes with like here like accelerate automation. We automate all business practices for high fidelity computing and innovation in the workplace. And I don't even know why I did that. It was just fun. Gonna have to slip off here, getting a bit hard to focus. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we've seen most of everything. I mean, I do still want to look at the templates, but yeah, don't feel like you have to stick around for that. It's mostly just gonna be looking at like, oh, look at this graphic design choice. Isn't that cool? Always went for a female Charizard, which was gonna have, you say that female Charizard was in Gen 4 was gonna have like from the PokeLeak, Gen 4 Charizard was gonna have a really weird gender variant where it was gonna have a single horn in the middle of its head, similar to like a promotional artwork that was made of Charizard at the time. Well, I say at the time, but like in the olden days of Pokemon. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about, Peacock, because it's that one where it's like red versus blue, and they're on flying Pokemon. Actually, hold on, actual size. Yeah, there's some weird color bleed stuff happening. Like, what's happening here? Why? I wonder how this looks if it was printed. Like, I'll definitely get the JPEG like printer set up, but like the digital printer in quotes. But I also want to see if what would happen if I printed one of these on like an actual thing, because this is some weird color bleed. It's the other. Hold on. What's this? Spirals. Just a bunch of. There's a bunch of patterns. What? Oh, you probably know about the weird, like old Pokemon art of red and blue riding on the backs of flying Pokemon. One of them's on Pidgeot, the other one's on Charizard, and the Charizard has a singular like Unihorn on its head, And I wonder if that was like the inspiration for the initial idea of like making a gender difference for Charizard in Gen 4 that was cut. Like this isn't, it never made it to the final thing. But well, let's go to 50 here. Yeah. Just gonna get that other Moltres and I was gonna scrutinize it. Oh, that's the same Moltres. Hold on. Keep scrolling too far. This one. This Moltres. Delete. Okay, this Moltres is better, but on closer inspection, it's like actually weirder. The hell? Why does it look like that? Okay, alright, let's get out of here. Actually, what can I do with the text? Okay, text block. So we have a bunch of fonts here. Bunch of Times New Roman, Tubular, Verdana, Voltage. Whoa, this is pretty cool. Wingdings. This is the one I had to do earlier. I called it one of the worst ones I've seen. Look at the Christian face. Yeah, really questionable face on that there. Moltres. Easewax? What the hell? This is crazy. It's so angular. Of course, Comic Sans. This is really difficult to look at. Amos Extended. Alor. I like this one. This is a good font. Okay, let's go back. Let's look at the templates again. Here. We're not gonna save this. Okay, birthday kits. We haven't looked at this yet. Join Us with Misty. Squirtle Party. What does this say? Oh my god, what is happening? What's all this? What happened? What is this? Oh, this is everything I've opened so far. Okay, let's just close the program. Oh. What? Oh god. Shut it down. Cut the internet down. No. Oh god. We have to cancel everything? Jesus Christ. Wouldn't have been great, but it would have been better than the one I had. The map art I gave you. Okay, Burning Company Blue. Let's relaunch this. Taking its sweet ass time. Hello. Oh, here we go. Just like a splash page that I couldn't even like see there. Okay, birthday kits. Just gonna try and look at this. Oh, it like opens like all of the like related material. I see. It's where you put like your name. That Pikachu, wow! Gift wrapping, I guess. Pokemon Master in the Making is having a birthday party. Please, I can't actually see this. Please join us to celebrate Name's birthday on Saturday, May 3rd at 1 p.m. at this address. RSVP by April 25th at this phone number. No. Okay. Okay, so I guess these are just like packs of stuff. Here's banners. Whoa. Sale. Imagine printing an entire banner of this. Oh my god! This is highly unfortunate. Yeah, oh my god. Imagine people who don't know Pokemon seeing this. Oh jeez. Highly, highly unfortunate. Needs Jigglypuff. Yeah, there's been a startling lack of like Jigglypuff-centered content. Also, Jigglypuff should be here actually, because like Jinx isn't known for singing. Whatever, they fucked up again. People who made this know shit. If you like Vaporeon, then here's the banner for you. It's a Pokemon so nice, it has the same vector twice. Did you know that in terms of... God, you could probably fit that entire fucking thing on this. What a horrible thing to come home to. Okay, yeah, that's it. Obviously, like, these are templates, so if you say you don't like... Maybe you don't like Vaporeon, I bet you could just get, Pidgeot. Let's delete, send it back. And this can be your banner. This can be, like, it's 1999, there is 152 Pokemons. This is your favorite. And so you design this banner with your favorite Pokemon on there. Isn't that nice? Keep pressing that button instead of the new file. Okay, I already looked at all those. Photo Fun, I already looked at those. Stationery. Just like pages? Can you make your resume with these? Today's date is... Why would you need this to be that big? Dear Diary. Today, I ran. Begin your diary entry, double click here and start and begin typing. Friend's diary page. Dear Diary. Here's some Pokemons. Why does Bulbasaur get to be so big? Kadabra letterhead? What if like you went to school and, and you had like custom Pokemon paper? I bet somebody did that. Printed out a bunch of sheets of like this. And this is like their like awesome paper. This is if you need like content, like some nice design for your like printed out resume, this is the program for you. So this is actually one of the vectors here. It's just been tinted. You can actually like untint it or make it even less tinted. It's almost invisible now. Okay. Marowak. Pikachu and Star's diary page. Is this like the same premise today I ran? Yeah. Pokeball letterhead. Pokemon Blue diary page. Psyduck letterhead. This doesn't really evoke blue. I mean, this is like kind of cool. But, yeah. Sandshrew in this version? Yeah, Sandshrew is in this version. You can even go get it. It has 2 whole vectors. Dear Diary. Sandshrew. Character cards. This is it. You can make your own awesome Pokemon card. There's like text on all of these. Is this real text? Not filler? It is! No sitting pose like the OG. Yeah, unfortunately. Strange seed was planted on its back at birth. The plant sprouts and grows with this Pokemon. I think these are all just, like... just, Pokedex entries. Bulb on its back grows large. It appears to lose the ability to stand on its hind legs. As if Bulbasaur walked around on 2 legs a whole lot. It's my favorite attack, etc. I wonder how many kids like made these cards and then tried to trade them for like real Pokemon cards. Like imagine being that kid who's like, no guys, I have this awesome Pokemon card. Let's see if they do have the legendaries. Hold on. Jeez, they have a lot. Some of them are like vertical too for some reason. Yeah, they definitely, yeah. Yeah, Moltres, here we go. Like you show up to the Pokemon card trading meetup, like on the playground, and you come in with this card, known as the legendary bird of fire. Every flap of its wings creates a dazzling flash of flames. Like you show up with this, and you're like, I'll trade this for your Charizard card. And the other kid is like, yeah, this looks like a really cool card. Yeah, sure. It's a legendary too. And it's like, oh yeah, that's great. I definitely want this. You can have my Charizard. And then you're the kid who later fucking seals that Charizard card into like a rated piece of plastic and sells it for $2,000 on eBay because it's shadowless. Man. I bet that happens. Maybe not that exactly, but I bet some kid got duped by these, not realizing you can print all of the goddamn Pokemon cards you want. Let's see, let's look at Charizard. Spits fire that is hot enough to melt boulders. Known to cause forest fires unintentionally. Traces fire flying. The card just said fire? Hold on. Type. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. They made this mistake with Charizard too. Wow. Whoopsie, I guess. Wait a minute. Is it grass, not grass poison? Somebody doesn't Pokemon. Somebody wasn't doing enough research. Okay, what's another, like, dual type? Victory Bell. Yeah, just grass. Man, that's that's stupid. I do like how like all of these seem to have their own little graphic design going on. That's kind of cool, and it's like influenced by the colors of the mod. Said to live in huge colonies deep in jungles, although no one has ever returned from there. Wait, are these real? Hold on. Victory Bell. Are these real dex entries? Pokemon Red and Blue. Said to live in huge... Okay, yeah. These are just the dex entries for Pokemon Red and Blue. Let's go look at some other ones. Yeah, I was just gonna... My music ran out. I'll just restart this Pokemon Red and Blue thing. I guess whoever put these together didn't know about dual types. Pidgeot is normal flying. Yeah, I wonder if it's just normal. Let's see. Yeah, they just went with the starting type, or like the type at the beginning. When hunting, it skims the surface of the water at high speed to pick off unwary prey such as Magikarp. Squirtle looks crazy. Pikachu! There he is. The Mon, the myth, the legend. Metapod. This is like really... That's crazy, look at this one. The text is like sideways here. Battle of Flap, and the text is also like really thin. Battle of flaps its wings at high speed to release highly toxic dust into the air. Flareon. Yeah, let's take a look at Flareon. Okay, there is like repeating templates, because this Persian one was also used for Squirtle. It's a pretty cool Ponyta one. Hold on. Yeah, there's Flareon, but what this one. Here we go. Storing thermal energy in its body, its temperature could soar to over 16,000 degrees. It's a lot of degrees. So also, just the aspect ratio of these, like this is obviously just like a business card template. that they modified to be Pokemonized. Let's see what else. Name. Yeah, you can even make your own place card? So I guess a business card, yeah. Zubat and Golbat. Hi, my name is... Name here. 3 of them. Or name. Name here. That is 15,000 officially. Oh, the temperature of Flareon. Eevee! Genetic code is irregular. It may mutate if it is exposed to radiation from elemental stones. Wait! That's what they're calling it? Radiation? That has crazy implications. I've also been looking into like really weird, like Pokemon had such weird shit like when it started. So many like weird oddities. Like for the thing, like just in general, like from a series standpoint, some like strange oddities in the games, but also the anime, especially the anime, and also just external media, like, you know, books and stuff. Like nobody thought, I don't think anybody, like the marketers or anyone but maybe like the kids who are fans of it, I don't think anyone thought this series would last. Like I think especially most like, you know, adults at the time were looking at this thing thinking, yeah, in like 3 years this is gonna be gone the way of Pogs, basically. But here we are, it's now the highest grossing franchise in the entire world. Beloved by billions, trillions, more billions even. And once again I'm pressing this instead of this. But yeah, envelopes, you can do envelope designs. Whoa. It's pretty cool. This isn't really even oh, it's Pokeballs here. Psyduck. There's like Pokemon cutout ones. Charmander? In what way is this Charmander? What does this little text say? Can I change this? What if you like did me? Myself. I own this. You now own Pokemon. Shouldn't have given us the power to edit that text. Wait, not. I don't want a blank one. No. This. I'm gonna look more at these. I remember being worried that Digimon was the Pokemon replacer in 2000 when they stopped airing Pokemon for Digimon. Did they? What network were you watching it on? Kids WB? This is clearly stock. Yeah, like what the fuck is this? Like there's no Pokemon elements on here besides the creature's copyright. And Nintendo. This, guys, Game Boy? Whoa, there's some crazy shit here. Pikachu with a moon. Pikachu with some lines. this. That's kind of nice. There's some, like, I genuinely like a lot of this graphic design. But some, like, what is this? Huh? This doesn't evoke anything Pokemon. Aside from that again. Once again. Pressing the wrong shit. So I wanted to look at this. Guys. Look, you can print your own Game Boy. It even has all the buttons. Remember this button? Man, this button was great. I like this one. These are actually bars. You can move it. You can make the letter T. Oh. Or the letter I. Hold on. Duplicate. No. Here. Duplicate. Have to move these around a little bit better. So remember this from the Game Boy? Eh? What happened? Accidentally center it? What happened? Where did that one go? Oh, I think it might have accidentally deleted it. Remember having— I had this Game Boy when I grew up. When I was growing up, I had this Game Boy. These are the buttons I had. It was really weird. There we go. What's the Okay, calendars? I will say with that Game Boy, I experienced a lot of loss. It didn't work properly. Monthly? Whoa! Can get Victory Bell in February. Year 2000. Whoa! What if you? What if Y2K deleted everything though? Nobody would ever be able to use these. Get Seal on March. Get Butterfree in April. You get another fucking Victory Bell in June. Get Kadabra in July. You get Rapidash in— the fuck does that say? What? September. That's not what that text said. Oh, 20— oh, it corrected. Okay, that was weird. Corrected to the exact time. Oh, August, I see. For some reason, I couldn't comprehend these glyphs at all. Then September. And you have November. Why does why is there two Victory Bells? It doesn't make any fucking sense. So this is a weird render. Wait, does this even exist in this fucking library? Hold on. Executor. Oh yeah, yeah. It's just weird. Why this Executor, like, running? Yeah, the calendar's almost definitely not working properly, aside from the fact that it's able to take my system time. Back. Yearly seal? Get seal for the yearly calendar. And the other ones too. No, this one has sheltered Pokemon postcards. Golbat. Magnemite. And I thought that said congratulation for a moment, like spelt wrong, but it's graduation. I choose you to send a postcard to. Why is Bulbasaur so big? Seal. Imagine not knowing what Pokemon is and you're like, I don't know, 83 and your grandson sends you this. You could just have Team Rocket. Let's see. Crafts? Hold on, was that all of the postcards really? Yeah, okay. Back. Crafts. Wearables? Oh, you can like print your own gym badges? That's nice. Pokeball bracelet. Horsey bracelet? Oh, fuck. Okay, it's doing this again. No. Oh. We opened too many projects. And of course it's stupid and doesn't just immediately close the unsaved project. Get rid of all of this shit. Okay, finally. You can like print out a horsey bracelet. Wow. There's even like an image of it. They like made this. They made it. It's got instructions and everything. Okay, got off to. I am getting tired. Yeah, no problem. I'm about done. I'm at the very end of. I just wanted to check out the templates. Bulbasaur mask, Pikachu mask, but it's like just an image of Pikachu. Like it's not even gonna be centered on your face correctly. Make tattoos if you have a tattoo printer, which this does come with like tattoo printing sheets. But I don't know if, I think regular printer can't actually do that. You have to have a specialized printer, I think. Paper fun? I can make like airplanes. Fortune teller. What the fuck? I can't even. Jeez. So it's like quotes from like just random generic quotes. Quotes from the anime in the intro, I guess. With Pokemons. And close out of all of this shit. Psyduck airplane. No bird Pokemon on the airplane? Aside from Psyduck, but Psyduck doesn't fly. It's like one with characters. hold on. Close out this before it becomes a problem. Wait, I was gonna look at decorative. Okay, just decals. 2 keychains, Flareon or Gengar? Certificates. Just reward certificates. Achievement of awesome. What does that say? Pokemon Battle Brox, Pokemon Geodude, and Onix. Your Pokemon Battle Brox, Pokemon Geodude, and Onix, and your Pokemon won. Wow. And I'm assuming you can just replace that with other gym. Wait, what? You were awarded Celebrity of the Day, and it's Vaporeon. Zubat Achievement. There's like a badge here. Yeah, Zubat is definitely a grandiose Pokemon for that. I wonder if we should continue this later. I mean, I'm pretty much done. That was it. This is just like sticker sheets and it's a blank page. So that's pretty much everything. I mean, I guess if we want to look at red version another time, not like there's anything... There's like some Pokemon that are different. Like there's the other half of the Pokemon are in red version. But it's... I'm getting pretty tired too, so... I'm not gonna look at that today. But that was Pokemon Project Studio. Actually I wonder, can I even launch red when blue is here? No, I have to have it. It's interesting because both are installed, but like you can't... Can open the files. AOL is here. Oh, the fonts are here. Better. These are here. Okay, I'm sure if I dig around in this, I can probably find the, what's this? You can probably find the, oh, some demos of, like, other games here. The Clue Finders and Reader Rabbit. It's nice that all the fonts are here, though. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Pretty neat, I think. Pretty unique piece of software. Can stop this music now. Yeah, this wasn't really a game, so I don't have any really closing words. Let me get Spinduck. I can... Yeah, I could probably find it in the program files, but the thing is a lot of the content is stored on the disk, cause I can't even access, even though it's installed, Pokemon Project Studio Red version can't even function without the disk in it. So I would have to basically extract the contents of the disk to get everything in one place. I bet I could find like some of it in the program files, but otherwise most of the content is just on the disk, which is part of the reason why it just doesn't function unless the disk is in the disk tray. Yeah, and I know I'm 100% sure you can find this program shared online. But for this case, because of how unique of a software it is, and also just like the weirdness of the whole thing. Like Mario never got something like this. So it's interesting that Pokemon did, but I guess Pokemon's also kind of in a league of its own, even at the time it released, you know, with all the different creatures. Versus Mario it's just like you jump and he does the bing bing wahoo shit. You're not really supposed to care about like the Coopers and stuff. You know, everybody likes Mario, but nobody is thinking, what if I was in the Mario world? Versus with Pokemon, the vast majority of like appeal of Pokemon is like, what if I was in the Pokemon world? You know, that kind of thing. So I think that's probably probably part of the reason why this software exists and why Pokemon blew up like how it did. Measured as a MOOC. Yeah, imagine if Pokemon was a story-driven game, like RPG, and you didn't catch and train anything more than just like one monster, and it was Pikachu, and all of the other Pokemons were enemies. I don't think it would have nearly had the staying power unless they immediately course-corrected in the second game and let you like catch the other monsters. A Goomba in its natural state is a Goomba that is stomped on. Yeah. As goes for most other enemies and stuff, you know. What is an Octorok but a thing for Link to destroy? Versus Pokemon kind of flipped that on the head. What if the RPG monsters were your friends? And you could catch and train them and collect them, and all that. So yeah, and it's, once again, I mentioned this before and I'll say it again, I think it's interesting that they only made one of this type of program. Like they did basically just, yeah, they started with Dragon Quest really. Yeah, I think it started with SMT, Shin Megami Tensei, where you could catch in quotes, befriend / convince to join your growing army of demons, which is a bit a bit funny considering the reaction by religious folks about you know, the whole Pokemon fad and how Pokemon's was demonic, and taught lies like evolution, even though the evolution in Pokemon is nothing how it actually works. But whatever. Thing that has gotten big and popular is new, like new and scary. Whatever that Simpsons quote, the Simpsons quote, that with Grandpa Simpson, that he says, if you know it, you know it. But yeah, it's really interesting, and it's kind of a shame that they didn't make more of these. It would have been really cool to see like a Pokemon Gold and Silver expansion to Pokemon Project Studio. But I guess even when Gold and Silver came out, maybe Pokemon like was popular, but it wasn't like, towns weren't like renaming. Like I found out that a town in like Kentucky or some shit like that, or hold on, town named Pikachu. Let's get this right. Kansas. It was a town in Kansas, Topeka, Kansas. Renamed the town Pikachu, Kansas. Topekachu, Kansas. In 1998 for a single day. That was the height of the Pokemon phenomenon. But I guess when Gold and Silver came out, it wasn't nearly. When did Gold and Silver came out? Pokemon Gold, Silver. Maybe it was like 1999. So it came out the year that this software, the Pokemon Project Studio came out. So they really could have, you know, having released this, they could have released an expansion or an additional software, but they just didn't. Pokemon was lightning in a bottle with some sticking power. But Game Freak itself was like Sega. But in terms of like not being able to stick with the hype or like falling off, they were throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense because they were like really trying to like innovate and make a name for themselves, and they struck out. Like Sega suffered a little bit with the whole trying to make their mascot, like, because they started with Alex Kidd and he fucking sucked. Nobody cared about that guy, and then they do a few other things before they created Sonic, and then Sonic was like the messiah. It was perfect in every single way. Versus Game Freak, they didn't even make like the same, or they didn't make very much before Pokemon, did they? Game Freak before Pokemon. They do anything before Pokemon? Mendel Palace. Ah, yes, Mendel Palace, the smash hit that everyone was talking about in 1989. They also made Smart Ball Yoshi, Magical Taruruto-kun, then Mario and Wario, and then they made No Tanto Isho Kuru Kuru Puzzle. Then they made Pulse Man, and then in 1996 they made Pokemon Red and Green, and then some game that apparently isn't even on Wikipedia called Bazaar de Gosaru no Game Boy de Gosaru. And then they also made, like right after that, some other game that's not on Wikipedia. But after that, it's almost all Pokemon, which is like crazy. They struck gold. Sega was doing the same thing, but Sonic was hyper-tuned for early 1990s market conditions. Pokemon's a bit more generic. I know Masuda worked on some games before, all of which have music that sound like Pokemon. Yeah, I've listened to some of those music, and it's like really good. It's good music. But yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Pokemon really had a lot of staying power, and now it's 2025. How many fucking years? Hold on, is that like 30 years? How old is Pokemon? Go. 28 years. In 2 more years, it'll be 30. The Pokemon franchise will be 30 years old. That's crazy. Well, the difference is Game Freak was always incompetent. They struck gold once and rode that wave to the present day, but they suck. Yeah. Yeah, they do. It's I mean, in their defense, they managed to start. So Game Freak started the fire, but everything else like has kept it burning. The cards are worth more than they were back in the day. Like, it's like, you know, it's not the Beanie Babies effect or the other like Pogs or anything. Like, sure, Pog collectors probably still have Pogs that are like really valuable to them, but it's not like a big fucking thing. Nowadays, I've seen like toddlers like go into retro game shops with their parents, and like they're discussing in great detail the value of Pokemon cards. Like a fucking 4-year-old is like playing the stock market now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, man, it's crazy, dude. How little rectangles of like cardstock with ink printed on them and like sometimes glittery foil is now like worth more than a lot of other things that are like lesser in value from a production standpoint. A lot of those aren't really Game Freak either. Yeah, like Used to Pokemon cards was made by Wizards of the Coast, which are their own level of suck. Um, but also then then it was transferred over to like the conglomerate, the Pokemon Company International. Um, and then like the animes are produced, like the anime is produced by, I forget the fucking company name. And then you have all the other like licensing agreements, like Scholastic making a bunch of English Pokemon books. I was like looking into those too. There's some really weird ones. Like a lot of them are like I have a weird Pokemon book that I found at a Goodwill. It's like a Pokemon phonics book, and it's based off of the Gen 2 anime. It's like the Shiny Shuckle episode, but it's like made for like Babby, so there's like 3 words on each page. It's fucking crazy. I need to take some pictures of it because it's like it's really really questionable for a official Pokemon product. If you got a bunch of grugs making games and a bunch of Monopoly men with top hats and monocles making most of the other stuff, or you got a bunch of grugs making the games. Yeah. It seems like, because Game Freak, like obviously, especially like you can see it in like Pokemon Black and White, in like the games before the 3DS era, where they're like they've really nailed. Like Pokemon Black and White was like, in Black and White 2 was like the zenith of Game Freak's ability to like be proficient with their own software and create really vast, really detailed, really lush worlds using the technical limitations that they had. And then X and Y was like really questionable in hindsight, but also at the time it was like such a huge leap forward that nobody cared. It was fucking awesome that Pokemon were 3D now, and like you didn't have to play a spin-off game like the Stadium games. You didn't have to do that anymore because you could just look at the 3D Pokemon on your 3DS. But then Sun and Moon was like a step forward as well, but it was not as great of a step forward. Granted, they did get better at utilizing the 3D space. And then Sword and Shield happened. And oh boy. Even ignoring Dexit, I have not played Sword and Shield, and I don't plan to. And then Scarlet and Violet happened, and I've played Scarlet version, and I can say my experience was constantly hampered by awful disappointment with everything. And that's when the shit hit the fan, yeah. And people realized, oh, this company who's responsible for making games for the highest grossing media franchise in the world cannot get their shit together and make a game for a vast majority of reasons of like just lack of optimization, but also the rush and crunch that they're under constantly. Like, I know people like to say, yeah, but I mean, they could just hire more people. They could just, like, they could literally outsource. They could do this and that. and they completely ignore the time that it takes to make, you know, a huge 3D world, and the time that Game Freak wasn't afforded to make that world. Like, it's just like the whole fucking thing with Sonic games and Sega, like, crunching Sonic Team to, like, make the next big Sonic game, and it always, like, ends up being the Sonic cycle of disappointment, because the game that comes out is, like, mid to pretty fucking bad. Because it's not like those Sonic games couldn't have been good. Sonic 06 might have been really good had they just had the time. Maybe the plot points regarding the whole fucking princess and the weird, like, realism that Sonic 06 goes for is, like, not great. But it could have been, like, a competently made and perfectly playable and enjoyable video game experience had Sega had the time. Well, part of this is also modern internet advertising that borders on brainwashing. Yeah, I think, like, the hype and the fact that Pokemon is, like, such a part of the cultural zeitgeist and has been influencing that zeitgeist worldwide in the gaming space, but also not even in the gaming space. You know, you have people, like, that's another thing. The games don't carry Pokemon anymore. It's the merch. It's the nostalgia. You know, people may not even ever have to touch the games to pick their favorite Pokemon, because they can see a design like Gengar and think Gengar is fucking cool. And then you can just buy Gengar product and be happy. You can live in the Pokeball, own nothing, and be happy. Yeah, it's really something. And it's crazy too, because I always imagined the future of Pokemon would be more or less what we have now with SV and the open world and all that shit. But I imagined it, you know, being way more visually, like, close to the anime. Maybe not like with line, like the, you know, the fake 2D line art that you can apply to 3D models and stuff that, like, the 3DS did. Maybe not like that. But, you know, I imagined, like, lush 3D worlds, you know, something similar to a game like Elder Scrolls Skyrim, where you can, like, talk to people and, like, get quests and, like, go do things besides, like, get gym badges, and maybe even, like, go to places, like, have more than just 8 gym badges, which was heavily implied in the Indigo League anime, because Gary has 10 badges. He got those badges in Kanto. So yeah, I was imagining something more like an action MMO. Throw that turn-based temporary hack in the garbage. Yeah, like, and I remember, like, seeing fan games in, like, 2015 and 2014, and probably even before then, seeing, like, YouTube videos of fan games. I'm pretty sure Vinny even played quite a few of them, or at least one of them, that was, like, trying to be a 3D Pokemon MMO, where you could, like, just run around. And I guess that's kind of where Pokemon is headed with SV, and how you can, like, run around with, like, at least a few other players in the open world and stuff. But it's like, still shit. It's, like, just so half-baked, and it's not great. And it's just like, the disappointment, and just the, like, because there's aspects about SV that I liked, but most of it was just the story and, like, the concepts. Like, I want to be able to play a Pokemon game and not have my imagination doing the heavy lifting of what I'm seeing. And I think it's the dissonance of, like, the way the world's been realized in the 3D space in this quote-unquote high detailed way, and how it conflicts with the imagination that at least players like me are still having to put into to imagine the world as more realized than it actually is. I don't even know if what the words I'm saying are making sense. It's like you have the Pokemon world being displayed in high fidelity in Scarlet and Violet, but the fidelity is still like weirdly low at the same time. And so if you wanted to imagine like more, you still have to do that. You still have to imagine, your Pokemon like actually punching the other Pokemon instead of just having like a fist attack, or like just the character like sliding around or whatever. Like, let us play the anime. Yeah. Yeah. And I do think like I don't think the upcoming spin-off game AZ Legends or ZA Legends, I forget. Weird thing to call it because it's like set in the future. But whatever. Like I don't think that's gonna be the anime experience that I think the marketing and like the Nintendo drones want you to think it is, or at least they want to think it is. But I still think it's a step in the right direction, the real-time battle system and the fact that you can direct your Pokemon kind of. PLA reminds me of Lucario. PLA was an experiment. Yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus was an experiment that I think was really good. It still was turn-based, but the open zones were pretty fully realized, and it was far closer to the anime. Even though it's like set in the past and like very different context-wise, it was far closer to what I was imagining like the future of Pokemon gaming was going to be like. ZA reminds me of shit like Zoroark and whatever. Yeah, I guess I can kind of get that vibe. Granted, I don't fully understand, but yeah, it. Well, I guess it depends on the performance, but I'm probably gonna end up getting ZA, depending on how fucking horrible the performance is on Switch. And I guess I'll see with my own two eyes what it's gonna be like. But yeah, it's just fucking. Lucario was a mon that was perfect storm that made it well liked. Yeah, I think Lucario had the setup, the whole thing with the movie, the setup with the movie. Tried to do it again, but completely fucked up everything. And I haven't even seen the Zoroark movie, so like Zoroark was like, I remember being like excited for it, because I got the Pokemon Black and White strategy guide before I got the game, and that's also where I learned about all of the Pokemons. Like, getting that strategy guide was like getting access to a Pokedex to a region that you haven't even been to yet. It was really fucking cool at the time. Flipping through the pages and imagining what the game was going to be, and all of these new Pokemon. And I remember seeing, like, I don't think I was watching the anime at the time. And then when I finally did catch some episodes, because like it had changed times and it was never on when I was like at home from school or like in the morning or anything. And I remember like catching episodes of the Pokemon Black and White anime a bit after the games came out, and I was really enjoying the games. And the anime fucking blew. So I didn't care about the movies at all. And I don't think I was even aware of the Zoroark movie. Lucario's movie was good. Yeah, Lucario's movie was like the first Pokemon movie I registered like fully watching. I've told you I've told you the entire story of like the weird memory I had of that movie that's like quite different in some places to the actual movie. And how that movie probably influenced me eventually, like hounding my mom and then playing Pokemon Platinum once it was bought. I think it was bought for my birthday. Like that heavily influenced my interest in Pokemon because the movie was so good. It was relatively accessible and it was a decent mon to use in battle. Zoroark was locked behind a mythical. Yeah, like Zoroark was like treated as this like special thing that you had to get at GameStop. I remember I even have the fucking GameStop Zoroark. I think it's sitting in Pokemon Home right now. Or maybe it's still in Black and White 2, actually. It might still be in Black and White 2. But yeah, I remember thinking it was like really cool and special Pokemon. But it really didn't need to be because like it's not really a mythical Pokemon. It's like basically kind of a pseudo legendary slash, I don't know, mascot mon. Like Lucario isn't a mythical by any stretch of the word. You get like at least in Platinum, you get like an egg that hatches into a Riolu. So, yeah, like they didn't need to make it that special. But I remember thinking Zoroark was cool. I have a Zoroark Burger King toy sitting on a shelf, in fact. It's the sort of thing that I'm thinking about when I think about PLA versus ZA. Yeah, like PLA. Yeah, I guess it's like soul versus soulless, or like the intentions. PLA was like had pure intentions. Yeah, they make a good thing by accident, then they try to repeat it and fuck it up. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying now, and I guess that kind of applies depending on your perspective. Because I've also seen people defend ZA as Game Freak attempting to try and flesh out their city environments more. Like this is a huge prototype of like what if future Pokemon games contain cities that are like actually like and not like 5 buildings. I know SV has some cities that are supposed to be big, but they still suck ass because you can't go into any of the buildings. Because fuck you, we didn't have time. And also, who cares? Not the developers, I guess. I mean, that's an assumption, but you know. And UPLA wasn't great, but it was the best goddamn Pokemon game I've ever seen since Sun and Moon. Yeah, like, it definitely... It could have had way more to it. I think PLA could have had a lot more to it, but I played the hell out of that game. That was the most I played of a Pokemon game, like, since Sun and Moon, pretty much. And I played a shit ton of Sun and Moon and ORAS. But then Sun and Moon 2 came out, and I was immediately disinterested in it. I was like, what the fuck is this? It's not even like a true sequel, it's like a shitty rewrite. I don't even know if it is a shitty rewrite. I just made that assumption of when it came out. I don't know anything about that game besides like interdimensional Wendy's girl and like the interdimensional twirly mustache man and just the whole fucking ultra space shit, which was disinteresting to me. And then Sword and Shield came out and I was even less interested. And then Legends Arceus, and I was actually interested. Yeah, I think that game was perfectly worth my time, and it was great for what it was. And then SV, I was interested in SV because I wanted to play what the modern face of Pokemon, like the main series game was like, and I was hoping it would improve on things that Sword and Shield I found out about and didn't like, and I guess it did in some ways, but it's still not good. Yeah. At least the legendaries were cool. Uh, and now AZ, I'm cautiously optimistic for AZ, but I'm not like hyped for it. Um, I'm filled with disappointment when I look at modern Pokemon because I just keep thinking how much fucking better it would be if they could just make it like the anime. Which I know is asking a lot, but it's the highest grossing media franchise ever. You think they'd be able to do something like that? Sword and Shield was looking amazing for like those first 2 weeks after E3, and then shit hit the fan with Dexit. Yeah, I think it looked impressive, but I think even if Dexit hadn't have happened, I think people would have eventually soured on it, you know, being like, why is this like this? I think people would still shit on the tree looking like it was from Ocarina of Time. And the whole model fiasco, yeah, they're like, guys, no, it looks like that because they had to like make new models for all of the Pokemon, only they didn't, and it's just the same models just scaled up, and maybe a few of them had like a bit extra detail added, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I think time still wouldn't have been kind to Sword and Shield. And then SV, and just SV is just fucking disappointing. I actually was a part of the yeah, you were. You were indeed. I was there, I know. I was in the threads. But yeah, it's just I'm so fucking sad because I like Pokemon a lot, and I've gotten reinvested in Pokemon recently, mostly because of the anime, and rewatching so much of it, but also just, you know, I think like, you know, even without the anime, I think Pokemon is just generally fascinating and fun. Like Pokemon, I like the Pokemon themselves. The world of Pokemon is interesting. Yeah, the artwork is wonderful. Like it's like I was looking into like old Pokemon fan communities, and there's so many. There's so fucking many. Like fan communities, and like I remember when I joined DeviantArt in 2013. When I joined DeviantArt in 2013, seeing all like the Pokemon groups was like, wow, so many Pokemon fans. I remember seeing the RP groups. There's so many fucking Pokemon RPs, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon so and so. Pokemon trainers. You could like pretend you like you have your Pokemon trainer OC, and they can go on a story. You know, kind of a version of the anime, I guess. The anime style gameplay, but via like RP and stuff. The games themselves never interest me. I think the games. So I still like the games because the games is how I interfaced with it initially, and like I mentioned before, I thought the anime was stupid because I thought the Pokemon saying their names was stupid. But yeah, it just the games was fascinating because you could like be in the Pokemon world more or less, or at least that's how I viewed it, as like a window into a world that I could experience, even if it wasn't exactly like the anime. I could just imagine, you know, if a attack missed my Pokemon, I would simply imagine that I told it to dodge or whatever. Because you could do that, you know, it's like reading a book and imagining the things that are happening in the book. Yeah. I have to assume that most of that shit's either non-existent nowadays or on opaque discords. Yeah, probably. I'm sure there's like lots of Pokemon RP discords nowadays that you just can't really access because everything's just so insular now, and like you'd have to hunt for like ones that has invites open, and even then it might be a shitty place full of like highly controlling moderators. It was half baked. I don't need a game to imagine something. Yeah, that's fair. Um, I was a big fan of games in general, and the RPG format wasn't really the thing that interested me. But I liked number going up. I liked when my Pokemon leveled up and evolved and shit. I liked collecting a bunch of items that I never used. Yeah, let me collect all of the items in the overworld and never use them. Yes, please. Guess I like the action games more. Yeah, there is a dissonance. So, like I said, I had to imagine a lot of the cool shit happening when I was playing Pokemon games. The battles were like, and still are. Pokemon battles are maybe my least favorite part about playing a Pokemon game because I do not give a shit about the competitive battle, the stats. I like when the Pokemon levels up, but I don't care, nor do I have any interest in learning about the EVs and the IVs and what Pokemon moves are most advantageous. When I was a kid, and even sometimes still, I'm even still guilty of this playing like SV and stuff. Just having every move in my Pokemon's arsenal of 4 moves being attack moves that aren't status inflicting or aren't like buffs or debuffs. I didn't care. Just have it just use all of the high power attack until the opponent dies. That's the best strategy you could have. Why would I waste turns on strategy when the best strategy is to just like click the button until the HP reaches 0? Oh, beloved Metroid. I shit on Metroidvanias that have typical RPG elements. Yeah, that makes sense because I mean, RPG, like I said, you have to like a lot of RPG's elements is locked behind stats and numbers. Like when you get down to the nitty gritty. Although I wonder how much I like games at all nowadays. Yeah, I mean, depending on who you ask and what kind of games you play, you're either living in a paradise of amazing games coming out every day, or you're living in a hell where there's no good games. I also guess it depends on how much you dive into like indie games. Um, but yeah, I think I've said said more than I think I talked for just like another fucking 40 minutes there. Um, Crazy. Geek Critique is beloved for me, and he made videos about Samus Returns and Metroid Dread, and I've not watched them yet because I've not beat those games. That makes sense. Because I can't even get myself to do it. Yeah, it's just why. I don't know, maybe depression? They're not amazing. I guess that too. The that's like part of my issue with like modern Pokemon is like I want so badly for a Pokemon game to be amazing, and that's why I think I soured so much, even though there was a lot of aspects in Pokemon SV that I liked. I soured so much because it just was not, it wasn't the thing in my imagination, so it's like, why even try? Though I've heard really good things about Samus Returns and Metroid Dread. Sure, it's not like killer nowadays, but also there's a lot more games nowadays. Those games came out like in 2008, maybe Samus Returns and Metroid Dread are like would be like the best Metroidvanias at the time. I talked about this before, but I like thinking about games like that more than actually playing them. Yeah, that makes sense. Like the world and shit. And also the construction of the games is very interesting to me. Especially shit that didn't make it into the games, that was just scaffolding or unused or test files. Cut concepts. Sorry for staying up so long, I guess. No, you're good. It's interesting to talk about this, and I guess it's fitting. You know, I don't think a whole lot of people watch my VODs, because, I mean, it's literally just you, Spike / Haunted Castle Pro, and I guess, as of today, Moltres Writer, who watch my streams, and maybe the occasional other person, depending on the game I'm playing. But I doubt many, if any, watch my VODs. Because, like, you know, why the fuck would you when you could watch Vinny or Joel or Queso or any other Germa, Stir, 10 million other incredibly entertaining people with better mic quality and better stream effort. Old dreams, they're weird because they're new, but they feel nostalgic at the same time, which is fucking odd, but not unwelcome, except for, you know, you can't fucking share it because it's locked in your head. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, illustrating dreams is pretty much the only way you can convey information from dreams, but even then, it's, like, never perfect. Like, I know there's, like, a difference between, like, me drawing out my dreams and you drawing out drawing out your dreams, and because of, you know, differences, and like I draw a lot versus, you know, you don't, aside from like making comics and like edits and stuff. But even then, like, I still don't, even with like my recent dream renderings, it's like, it's still not the highest fidelity it could be, because I can't just transfer the images from my dreams, you know, onto a screen. So we'll never know, like, exactly what Mega Toucannon looked like, you know, that that dream Mega Evolution for Toucannon that I dreamt up in 2018. We'll never know exactly what that looked like. Because I can't fucking transfer the files. I've even had a dream that was kind of related to the anguish of that, and it was also Pokemon related. Like, the closest I've ever seen was like liminal space stuff. Yeah. But yeah, and I guess we can talk about this more on Discord. the whole dream debacle. Because I'm not even sure if I might have discussed the dream I had of like going to the Pokemon B3313, yeah, B3313, a Mario game that like feels distinctly dreamlike. Even then, it's like, who the fuck cares? And even then, it's still one of the greatest games ever made. Yeah, it really like feels that's a game that really feels like, you know, a dream version of a pre-existing game, which is crazy to even the fact that they even achieved that at all. But yeah. Well, I think I've rambled enough. So I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you next time, and next time I'll probably continue on with Lisa now that I finally got to stream this. I'm so glad you were able to show up today, Peacock. So I could show you the fucking horrendous height charts that I'll see if I can try to extract so I can reassemble them in a giant, extremely long PNG, and see how it stacks up to like a real height chart. I'm very curious to see like what the scale comparisons would be. It was wonderful. Well, that's good to hear. I was worried it was gonna be boring as hell, just because of the nature of it. But I'm glad it was at least somewhat entertaining. But yeah. So, but next time I'll be playing game again, a real game, and not creative software. But yeah. Well, anyways, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time. And it helps that was Jay. Yeah, I'm glad Jay was here. I'm glad he got to see this. See you all next time. So, bye.